What a day! What a day for this tournament. Indian Wells semifinals are probably some of the best we could wish for. We're going to start with the first one between Alexander Zverev and Yannick Sinner. Not too bad. Hi to everyone on the chat already. And hi to Nerad F4 and Let's Line Live. The second one will be between Alcaraz and Medvedev. So that's a little bit dream semifinals. And we're going to start with the first one between Sinner and Zverev. We're going to share together a few statistics to get a feel of what can happen during this match. That has been prepared by Mouratoglou Analytics, our team. That's the first one. I mean, of course, those two guys are huge in serving and serve plus one. As you can see, so this is Sinner's and Zverev's serve. So, I mean, Sinner has won a very high percentage of points won after his first serve. And Zverev, which usually is great at returning, has been struggling this year. Let's look at the average norm, 71% of returns after the first serve. Zverev's norm is a bit higher, 72%. But during that tournament, it dropped to 62%. So that might be a problem today. We'll see how he handles it. But so far in that tournament, he hasn't been great at doing that. I was talking about the efficiency of Sinner after his first serve. So he's won 84% of points. That's really huge. That's way over the norm on tour. And on the deuce side, particularly with a 91%, because he has this slice out wide. That is deadly, because after this slice, first of all, he makes a lot of points. And second, if the ball comes back, he's so great at hitting the ball early on the forehand and going down the line that his percentage of points won on this side particularly is even higher. And he has lost only 2 service games that tournament. We're going to focus also on Zverev's serve. Here it is, because he's been on fire this tournament too. The unreturned serves. The tour norm is 35% on the first serve of the opponent. Zverev's norm is 38%, so it's a bit better, but this week 50%. So he's been serving unbelievably well on first serve, and that's why I think he has been broken only once this tournament. Oh, here it is. Only one service game lost the whole tournament for Zverev. So that will be a big challenge today for Yannick Sinner. Sorry. He has played 45 service games and lost only one. So how will Zverev handle Sinner's forehand? That's also the big question, because we know that Sinner's forehand is unbelievable, is fast, is solid, and is powerful. He finds great angles. And on the other hand, it's always been the weakness of Zverev. The forehand winners of Sinner against Zverev the last 3 matches average 13. Sinner's norm is usually 9.5. And the forehand unforced errors per match, usually Sinner's norm is 8.3, and against Zverev it dropped to 6.4. So the last 3 matches have been dominated really greatly by Sinner. But we're going to go to the head-to-heads a bit after, because we have also some very interesting insights. That's the dream semifinals. So Sinner beat Tien very comfortably, as you can see. We've seen also Zverev beat Fils very comfortably. Medvedev was a bit more difficult against Draper, but still 2 sets. And Alcaraz against Norrie also 2 sets. And that was a difficult one, because last time they played, Norrie won. It was in Paris Masters. We're going to also have a look at the women's draw. Not yet, but later, no problem. So 6-4. So that's a head-to-head between Sinner and Zverev. So you can think, wow, it's very, very close. The thing is, Zverev won the first four because Sinner was young. He was not at the same level. But since Sinner is at that level, it's 6-0 because he won the last 6 times they played against each other. And that's, I think, important. When we look at the head-to-head, I'm always skeptical about this because I always think, well, okay, but who won the last ones and how many in a row, first? And second, when did the one guy beat the other guy? When he was already at the same level or when he was at a way lower level? In this case, that's what happened. So it's clear to say that for the moment, Zverev doesn't have the keys against Sinner, but Zverev wants to win a Grand Slam. That's his, of course, only focus. That's what is running after for now for quite a long time. That is a detail of their matches. Only one went 3 sets in the last 6. Sorry, 2. But the last 2, you see the score: 6-4, 6-3, 6-love, 6-1. Final of the Australian Open, 3 straight sets. So there was one in Vienna in 2025 that was very close, but it was indoors, so different surface. Otherwise, the last 5. I just say something wrong. So it was 4-1 for Zverev and then 5 in a row for Sinner. Yeah, Sinner causes problems to him, to Zverev, because he's way closer to the baseline. He plays extremely fast, and the matchup forehand against forehand is tough for Zverev. The women's draw now. The final is amazing. Sabalenka Rybakina, the rematch of the Australian Open final, which is great. We were really looking forward to this final, to be honest. They played the semifinals. Straight sets, both of them. So I think at the moment they're the 2 best players in the world without any doubt. And actually, Rybakina will be number 2, whatever is happening in that final Monday. So after she rejoined forces with her coach that was banned by the WTA for a year, she came back to her best level and maybe even better than before. So I'm very happy for her because that was tough to take away the coach that she trusts, that she's been working with when she was very successful for a year. It's really a very tough call. So now I'm going to answer the questions. Just first of all, the final tomorrow will be at 10 p.m. CET to 2 p.m. Pacific time. And Monday, be present because we're going to have a chat all together about all the takeaways about Indian Wells, everything. A lot of subjects to talk about. Really talk about the matches and everything. So today, whatever question you have or comments, please, let's focus on this match because that's what we're here for. And the first point of the match is played, and it's a very good serve winner from Zverev down the tee. We have comments and questions also on YouTube because we're also live on YouTube. Second point of the match. And one thing I want to say also, another great serve from Zverev and easy overhead after that. Another thing I want to say about Zverev, not only his serve is deadly, but also his percentage of first serve is amazing. That's an incredible quality to have a serve that is deadly, but also super new follower Guillermo Moy Quique. Also super high percentage. That's really something great. Serve +1, amazing from Zverev. If he maintains a very high level of serve and a very high percentage of first serve, it's going to be a close match. That's going to be really, and that's what we said in the preview, that's going to be one of the main keys of that match. When you have such a big server like him, so difficult to break, not only because he serves great, but also because he serves consistently, and also because his first shot after the serve is amazing, and that's true also for Sinner, who's, I think, superior when it comes to rallying. He plays faster, he's closer to the line, he finds better angles. Oh, Fastlane just took subscribed, so thank you, Fastlane 174. You'll be rewarded because we're going to announce next week the rewards for the people who subscribe. Not all of them, but we have a lot of amazing, trust me, amazing rewards for you guys. Do I think Sinner's baseline consistency will be the key against Zverev today? Yeah, it will be a key, of course, but I think the serve will be the key. The ability of Yannick to return, because as I said, I think he's superior. Oh, Skater73 also subscribed. Welcome to our community, man, or man or woman, by the way, I don't know. It's a 15 love. First forehand in the net. I always notice that in the first points, sometimes the first two games of the matches, Sinner is a bit nervous and it's quite obvious. But the great thing is, it almost never stays like that. He finds a way to start to relax quite fast. First information, Zverev is returning Yannick so far, and quite well, quite deep. That was a question because we know it's going to be a key, and so far in the tournament, Zverev is not returning as well as usual. But that might be a key. Yes, Nerad L4, you should subscribe, trust me. Let's see, 30-15 for Sinner. Great serve. Oh, so far the guys are so focused in terms of being able to have a high amount of first serves in. Because it's something we have to say. Also, the second serve of Yannick is not as good, I think, as the rest of his game. Is quite slow. And there are opportunities there. Huge first serve again. But he can serve faster. He just takes more risks. Nerad F4 subscribed. Well done. I tell you, we'll reveal the rewards next week. And you won't be disappointed. So the questions on YouTube. So YouTube, Mary12516FB is saying great conditions for Zverev for me. Are you talking about today in particular or Indian Wells conditions? He's definitely very comfortable in hard courts. Another big serve from Zverev. He's definitely great on hard courts. He's great on clay too, by the way, and he's great indoors as well. I think maybe if there is one surface that is not as good for him, it's probably grass. But on the three others, is amazing. But I think it's great conditions for anyone. It's warm, but it's dry in Indian Wells, not like Miami that is super humid and very draining. And I would say better conditions for Sinner. Not better for Sinner than for Zverev, but when it's very humid, Sinner can really cramp. We've seen that many times in the past. Wow, what a second serve from Zverev too, and a forehand. Sasha started the match. It's difficult to start better than that. I think even the first three games, because even on the returning game, I think he did return quite well. the first serve of Sinner. I'm going to also check the statistics. 40 love. Didn't drop a single point on his serve so far, the German. And an ace. Strange, because Sinner was on the ball, but he hit the ball and he just hit the air. 2 games to 1. Look at that. Look at those stats. Amazing. 3 games played. For Sinner, 80% of first serves. And 75% of points won. 100% on second. And for Zverev, I wait a little because the qualifying draw of Miami is out already. There's a bit of a delay. 88% of first serves for Zverev. What the hell? 100% on first, 100% on second. What a start. So, Mikael SFHT. First of all, welcome to the chat because it's your first time. Hi, Patrick. With the speed of today's game, do you think the one-handed backhand is a disadvantage? Or what do you think it should be worked for it to be competitive? So, Michael, as I said a bit earlier, but maybe you were not on the chat yet, we're going to focus on the match today. So any question about the match, any comment about the match, of course, is more than welcome. If you have other questions, Monday, let me give you the exact time. 2 p.m. CET, we're going to do a just chatting. So it's going to be any kind of question on any subject. Of course, we're going to come back on all Indian Wells. But this question would be, I'll be very happy to answer, for example. But let's do it on Monday at 2 p.m., which is really the time for that. And on YouTube, Brett Gans tells me, please make sure you say that the power of the forehand comes from the wrist. Absolutely. It's one of the things that create the power that is very important, what I call the whip effect. But again, those questions are more for Monday. It can be for today, by the way, because I think that Sinner's forehand is a bomb. And one of the reasons for that is that his arm and his wrist are so loose. This whip effect is huge. Wow. Sinner wants to answer Zverev's start and match it and tell him, hey, man, you want to serve like this? Okay, let's do it, man. I can do the same. And he does. 88% of first serves in, exactly the same percentage as Zverev. That's unbelievable. The only difference is he dropped 1 point on his serve. Sinner, none. Zverev, none. That's the only difference. But otherwise, wow. 86% of points won on first and 100% on second. Yeah, Maniaki, the serve of those two guys is something, really. I mean, the top guys in general. Les Line Live is asking who was... Oh, that was an ace again. Les Line Live is asking who has the serve advantage in this matchup, Sinner or Zverev? I think Zverev is serving a bit better. Yeah, he does. But I think Sinner returns... I think Sinner is better from the baseline. So if Zverev wants to win, as I said, he has no other option than to keep a very high percentage of first serve in. Otherwise, he might be in danger. Amazing start from both guys. Amazing. I mean, the guys who tell me tennis is not about serve today, serve and return, not only, but so much. And considering that 70%, more than 70% of the points are played between 0 and 4 shots, you know, everything is said, right? Exactly, Tills 17-12-04. That's exactly what I said in the preview of the match. The forehand against forehand will give a huge advantage to Yannick. Oh, Yannick, who moves incredibly far back to return the second serve of Zverev. That's something kind of unusual from him. Oh, wow. And this is a first sign. Zverev run around his forehand to hit a backhand. That was very strange. And fast lane 174, who's also chatting for the first time. So, guys, welcome to the chat. Zverev's backhand is a bit more solid than Sinner's. I wouldn't say so. If you look at the stats, Sinner is unbelievably solid with the backhand. He doesn't miss. I don't want to say anything wrong, but in the past days, we've shown the statistic of the number of unforced error backhand per match from Sinner, and it's extremely low, and he can attack with the backhand. I think they're kind of... By the way, I said this, and he missed the backhand. But I think he missed it because he returned from very far, and it's unusual for him, so his ball went down too early and hit the net. Oh, thank you, Stefaru, for saying that the... Wait, let's watch this point. And unforced error backhand from Zverev. Two backhand unforced errors from Zverev in that game, and one from Sinner. Completely different game compared to the first four. Yes, Stefaru is saying that the new stream layout looks really stylish. Thank you. The team will be happy. They worked on it. Why do you think Zverev is going to win? I don't think Zverev is going to win. I think he can win, but I don't think he's going to win. Backhand, forehand to forehand, the famous battle. And a backhand mistake from Sinner to finish that point. 30-all, that was a very important point for Zverev. Otherwise, he would have to face 2 break points. Long rally, the first long rally of the match. Pedros 6CZ, please, that's a very good question, and welcome to the chat for sure. We just said that we're going to focus on the match. All the questions that don't have anything to do with the match, please ask Monday, because Monday we're going to have at 2 p.m. CET a chatting. Just chatting together, so you can ask any question. I'll be very happy to answer you. But let's stay focused on the match. That's part of the tactic from Sinner to be extremely far back, Medvedev style, to return Zverev's second serve. Till 17, 12-04, what would be your advice for Zverev to win the forehand-to-forehand rallies? Well, when it's like this and you're not as good as the opponent on forehand-to-forehand or backhand-to-backhand, you just have to not stay in that diagonal, and as soon as you can move out of it. You can move out every time you have a short ball by hitting a forehand down the line and trying to go for the winner. If not, you can play very high to the opponent's backhand, so you have time to move back to your backhand while the ball is traveling. And first break point of the match for Sinner with another unforced error with the backhand from Zverev. 3 in that game, huh? That's surprising because that's his strongest shot and normally way better than his forehand, but this is the one that broke in that game. How do I see? And a forehand mistake and a break already for Sinner. Well, that was we didn't see that coming because the first 4 games the guys were unbelievable statistically wise, so good on the serve, and suddenly no first serve. And then it's a different, as I said, Sinner is more solid from the baseline, is better, I think. So as soon as Zverev doesn't have the first serve, he's in danger, and he got broken the first time his percentage of first serve dropped. He got broken straight away. I think it's a message already that, as I said, if he wants to have a chance, he will have no other option than to serve extremely well and an extremely high percentage of first serve. Boom. Just one game he didn't do it, got broken straight away. Even though I don't feel that a Sinner is as confident as usual, that's a personal opinion and feeling. When I see the way he hits his shot, I feel it's a little bit shaky. Not totally shaky, but more shaky than usual. And usually he wants to hurt every time. I felt since the start of this tournament, and maybe even more the start of this match, that he was more hitting with a lot of margin and not trying to hurt as much as usual. That's a feeling. But let's see how this goes. Let's see if Sinner serves as well or drops as Sinner did, as Zverev did, and he just gave a bit of the answer, starting with an ace. I agree, Nerad F4. Surprising how quick the break came. We didn't see that coming because Zverev didn't lose a single point in his first two service games, and suddenly he made a festival of unforced errors. 3 with the backhand, 1 with the forehand. I don't think Sinner made any winner in that game and still broke. Second serve. Ooh la la, that was a short forehand from Zverev. You see that Zverev decided to go a lot with his forehand down the line to avoid the cross-court battle. That was a very good forehand, by the way, by Zverev, with a very great angle. And usually Sinner is super comfortable on those. He slides and hits back, and this time the ball went so far. Hi, Yvonne and Only. Welcome. You just followed me. Oh, what a serve from Sinner again. Sinner, 73% of unreturned serves so far. That's huge. And we said it, Zverev so far in that tournament has struggled to return first serve more than usual. And when you look at the quality of the serve of Sinner in that match so far, that makes a difference. 40-15, another unforced errors from Zverev, this time the forehand. We just heard his father talking to him in Russian. For those who don't know, both of Zverev's parents are Russians. What a serve again from Sinner. The slice, the famous slice that is going to also... remember the stat on that side? Deuce, he wins this tournament. He needs... This tournament, so far, he won 91% of the points after his first serve. And the slice serve to Zverev's forehand can really hurt a lot. 4-2 for Sinner. I'm curious to see that service game of Zverev. Is he going to be able to come back to serving as well as before, or I mean, was it an accident, or is it going to be the trend to start missing more first serves and being more in trouble on second? Very well done. Serve +1. He was at the net, had an easy backhand volley to finish because of the quality of his serve, and then the approach was good too. Another very good serve. I have a good question on YouTube from Sportscaster Canada. Hello, Patrick. Is it easier to prepare for a match like this when Zverev is considered the underdog by the general public? As a coach, do conversions of being an underdog ever come up? This is very good English. I'm not sure I understood everything perfectly, but I think I do the general idea. Is it easier to prepare for a match when you're the underdog? Well, if you believe in yourself and your ability to win, yes, it's way better, way easier to be the underdog, because mentally you go to the match being with more intention, because you're okay to lose. Okay, you're not okay, but you know that it's acceptable to lose. When you're the favorite, there is a voice telling you it's not acceptable to lose, so you're more tight. And we see that very, very often. I mean, at a leisure level, every day. Oh my God! Second serve Zverev and he got killed. Great return from Sinner, deep center, the best possible return, super fast. Boom! We see it like slow motion, and then backhand down the line winner. Nothing that Zverev can do on this one. 30-all. So yes. It's way better. It's always easier to be the underdog than being the favorite. That's why number ones in the world, they're favorite at every match. Every match. So the pressure is constant. The nervousness is constant. And it's difficult for people to realize how difficult mentally it is to be and stay number one in the world. And there is a saying, another breakpoint for Sinner. So I think that Sinner and Alcaraz are mental monsters, not only physical monsters, but also mental monsters. Second serve again, so danger. Sinner moved back. And a big unforced error from Zverev on the forehand side. I mean, Sinner has been smart, playing everything in the center, giving him no angle, and in a way telling him, find the angle from there. And he tried to find it and he missed. So I think the big difference in that match between those two guys is the percentage of points won on second serve. 75% for Sinner, 25% for Zverev, only 2 points out of 8. But exactly what we said at the start of the match. From the baseline, Yannick is better. So he has to serve a high percentage of first serve. And he started with an incredibly high. He was at 88% after 2 service games. He's down to 60%. Now, just to say how much he dropped, and his percentage in the last 2 games is probably under 50%. That explains the 2 breaks. If he wants to win, no other option than a very high percentage of first serve. No other option. And usually he's great at that. He's around 75%, sometimes 80% in a match. I don't know why today, suddenly it dropped so much. I agree with you, Till 17-12-04. Sinner's ability to play this fast without doing mistakes is his biggest benefit, not only compared to Zverev, but to everyone. 100%. That's his game style. His game style is to take the ball early, play at an incredibly high rhythm without missing. He's not a player like Alcaraz that is super creative, that changes the pace, that does a drop shot, this. Actually, didn't do one so far. His style is not this, so I mean, it's good to be able if he needs to do the drop shot, but he should focus on his what makes him special, and what makes him special is this: the ability to play at a very high pace without missing. Another ace. What a set so far for Sinner. It's a joke. Probably some of the best stats in his life. 73% of first serve, 91% on first, 75 on second. And he won 75 on second serve of his opponent. Tough to beat. The set is not over yet. He can still drop, but so far. Oh, what a big mistake in the on the return for Zverev. It was a second serve and the ball went miles away. Zverev says he's playing more aggressively this year against Sinner. Would that also make sense? In the Tin match you mentioned, you'd advise Tin to keep the ball in play and not give Sinner easy points. Wait, I want to see the end. And a mistake, big mistake, backhand again for Zverev. How do you see it, Zverev? He currently makes a lot of first serve. Yeah, no, he has to. You have to make the match tough. You can't give so much air to your opponent. When you give points like this, the guy feels comfortable. Tennis is about finding the balance. Aggressive enough, but always control the mistakes. It's called what I call controlled aggression all the time. Find the limit. It's like driving a car. If you go too fast, you're going to crash. That's what Zverev is doing so far. He's crashing. You can't crash. Was a serve and volley on the set point for Sinner. Came twice, if I remember well, to the net and won both points in that set. Oh, and a double fault. He doesn't want to have too good statistics, so yeah, 3 set points. He slows down a little bit. I have a few other questions that popped up, and I will answer them. Don't worry, especially Yvonne and Only, because that's her first time on the chat. But I always answer the questions. Just let's look at the set point, and then I'll take a little break, and I come back, and first thing I do when I come back, oh la la, Sinner got nervous when he was about to close the set. Strangely, I didn't see that coming because he made 2 big mistakes. A double fault and this forehand that went middle of the net. That was very surprising. Very unusual, I would say. Let's see what he does with the third set point. That's a great second serve that opens up the court completely. Didn't take advantage as this one. Oh my god, the backhand 5 meters out from Zverev on the set point. Same, don't give the point. You can see that Yannick is super nervous. That's super obvious. You have a chance to break there. Thank you. Okay, I take a short break and I come back for the second set. See you. And we're back for the second set with Zverev serving again, and we'll see how good is serving at the start of the second, because we've seen two Zverev in that first set. An incredible one in the first 4 games, and someone who completely dropped his focus after that, or tried to do too much. I don't know exactly what happened in his mind, but definitely something happened. Oh la la. That was a fantastic backhand down the line from Zverev, a very easy forehand. And the forehand went crazy far, completely missed from the German. So now I'm going to answer the questions from Yvonne and only. Bonsoir, Patrick. What would you say are Sinner's weaknesses, if there are any? Greetings from Germany. There are none. I think Sinner and Alcaraz have no weakness, and that's why they're the two best players in the world. There is no solution rather than to stay with them, play them, make them work, and outplay them, which almost nobody can do. Wow, a big double fault from Zverev. He's losing completely his mind. That's crazy. I don't know what happened suddenly, but phew, explosion, and high to Germany. Now Zverev shouldn't come to the net more, just to ensure this line live, for 2 reasons. First of all, his net game is not great at this level. Okay, Sinner's weakness is he can cramp. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Stay with him, make him work, move him, refuse to step back and give him air and let him dictate. But it's difficult to do because the guy plays at an incredible pace. Ooh, lucky a little bit, but good job from Zverev. He did exactly what I just said. He stayed with him, didn't try to play too fast because, not faster than he can, but started to move Sinner side to side, and he got lucky because the ball hit the line and made a different bounce, which caused a mishit from Sinner. But that was a good point from Zverev to save that break point. That would be not a match point, but that would be a very, very big option for Sinner. And a good serve again. Oof, I think he's breathing again. And to talk the discussion between Sinner and Novak, is Sinner a light version of Novak or a better one? I don't want to say he's better than Novak. Novak is the best of all times, but I think he is a more modern version of Novak because I think he plays faster than him. Of course, he lost against him in Australia, but he won the last 5 times they played against each other. So he can lose sometimes. Novak can play an incredible match and Sinner not a great one, and then he can lose because they're not that far. But still, what an angle with the forehand. Yeah, it's too good from Sinner, but once again, I don't feel the same assurance in his shots as usual. I feel there is a bit more hesitation, but usually there is none. So if he wins today, I think against Alcaraz, if he has the same problem, he will be in trouble. That's a great return, very deep from Sinner. Oh! Is it in or out, this volley? Oh, it's in. That was an unbelievable point again from Yannick, playing so fast and close to the lines, and the way he sneaked in while Zverev was far from the ball. This point was extremely high level tennis. And now Zverev has a warning because it took too long. He's ready to explode. Whew. And a huge first serve to save this second break point in that game. I mean, Zverev knows he can't afford to be broken now, otherwise it's almost finished for him. He had no break point in that match so far. Ex-Waitik, I'll answer that on Monday if you don't mind, when we'll do the chat where we can ask any kind of question about Tsitsipas. And a very good serve again. Let's line live. No, I don't think Sinner is conserving for the final. I don't think so. You know, I mean, he's playing Zverev. He can't think this way, and he should not. And actually, the best way, and an ace to finish. Whew! To finish that game. Good that he could win his first game in the second set. He had to face 2 break points. No, you can't. And even if you play anyone, that's not the right way to think, because if you think conserving, you put yourself in trouble, and it means you don't respect your opponent, and that's a good way to lose. The best way to conserve, as you say, is to make the match faster and easier, because you give 100%, but for a shorter period of time. Let's Line Live is asking, what's the turning point of the match so far? I mean, I would say the 5th game of the first set, where Zverev suddenly didn't pass first serve, had to play rallies and made a lot of unforced errors. I almost can call it an auto break. He broke himself, because when you lose your serve with your opponent hitting 0 winner, so Chill 17-12-04. I don't think that Zverev's serve is too predictable. I think it can become predictable, like everybody's serve can become predictable when you get very nervous and you stick to the same zones because you are nervous. But otherwise, you know, if you look at the percentage of unreturned serve of Zverev, it's huge. If he was predictable, it wouldn't be that huge. And Yvonne and only, who do I think is going to win? I think it's going to be close, but I think it's going to be Alcaraz. Because since the start of the year, the level he proposes is extremely high. It's always, you can say, but even higher than usual. That was well played from Zverev. This, he played this famous high ball on the backhand of Sinner to come back to a backhand battle, and then he attacked down the line, but he was too far on the side. When he went down the line, he couldn't cover the court. 12 winners to 8 for Sinner so far. It's a big and I don't know in first errors, but swim more also for Zverev. So it's a big domination. Oh, double fault. Another one. I don't feel he's very comfortable on his second serve. Look at that. Yannick won 70% of the points on his second serve, and he lost only 3 points on second. And the 3 points is 2 double faults. So basically, he lost 1 point on second serve. And Zverev won 15% of points on his first serve so far. 15. 2 points out of 13. Just to tell you how much Sinner dominates the baseline since the start of this match. That's crazy. Another very good serve from Zverev down the tee. Yes, you're right, even and only. Fonseca was very close, but couldn't break Sinner. And we've seen Sinner nervous in that match too, because 5-3 serving for the match. He ended up having to play a tiebreak. So he got nervous also when it was the moment to close. Same as in that first set against Zverev. That's something we were not seeing before. So the doubt is here, is somewhere. But and same in Roland Garros, 5-3 in the fourth, and he ends up losing the match. So it's a little bit of pattern that got a bit worse. Oh la la, big mistake. I don't even think that Sinner is playing well in that match so far. He missed the first serve and he complains, but his toss was way too low. Oh, this time Sinner close to the line to return the second. And it's true that when Yannick is closer to return second serve, Zverev pushes more. Ooh la la. I think Sinner spoke to the chair umpire, and I don't know if he didn't ask for the physio. I didn't hear what he said, but he spoke to the chair umpire. And it's not a good sign. He's not the type of guy who would say anything unless he needs something. It's getting warm here, even though we're not in Indian Wells, but in the rain actually today the whole day. So I'm going to take off my sweatshirt. The small Italian fans, it's always cute when you see the kids. Strange match, very strange match. Started incredibly strongly the first 4 games, and it's almost a meltdown from Zverev, who started to accumulate the unforced errors. But the percentage of points won after the first are huge for both guys. 90%, 93%. 90 for Zverev, 93 for Sinner. The big difference so far is second, 64 to 27%. It's crazy. It's a good return from Zverev because the serve was great, but kind of big mistake. Slice backhand for no reason because the ball of Sinner was short. He could step in and attack. Maybe, I don't know, but maybe he thinks that to beat Sinner, he needs to play faster than usual and he crashes. That could be an explanation. Because he's not used to play that fast. Sinner is. Another unforced error with the backhand. I would be very interested to have the number of unforced error from Zverev on both forehand and backhand in that match, because I feel that he missed a lot of backhands, which was very unusual for him. Nerad F4, sorry, saying that, as I heard rumors saying lower back, Sinner's lower back is bothering him. That could be. Can be wrong, but I really feel that he asked for the physio at the next changeover. And that would explain also why Yannick is so locked in, because he has to make this match shorter, and in order to do it, he has to be extremely focused on his serve. Another big serve, another service game without dropping a single point for Sinner. Do I think that Zverev gets carried away too much with his anger? I think his self-control during the matches. What I admire in him is his resilience. I think he's an incredibly resilient person. You know that he has an illness. He's in. He's playing with. Having to play with what he has. That's crazy. You remember when he broke his ankle at Roland Garros, and he came back and it was tough and he was losing a lot of matches at the start. You feel that the guy is incredibly resilient. And throughout the matches, I feel the resilience too. He just has to, sometimes I think he panics a little bit. That's why he makes so many unforced errors in a row. Ooh, that was close. That's a good rally, long rally. And I think that so far, Zverev is doing well. Oh, no. Yeah, he's just out. He's doing well in the long rallies. My win... Aliali 1111 is asking me what would be my win predictor right now. I would say 80-20 for Zverev. For Sinner, sorry. And I say 20, not 10 or 2, because maybe Sinner has a back issue or a physical issue, because I think that he called the physio, but next changeover will be interesting because we'll see if he did or if it was a bad call from me. I wouldn't be surprised because Sinner didn't even run on this one, didn't even try to hit it. 3-2. Yeah, no, I know. No. It's the ball boy holding the umbrella. It's not a physio. So I think Zverev is back to serving better in terms of percentage. Yeah, second set, he won 100% of the points on his first serve. Zverev, only 29 on second. Sinner, 100 on first also, and 75 on second. That's the big difference between the two guys in the first set, yeah. But I understand it's difficult for Zverev because, he's definitely dominated in the rallies, and he has to serve incredibly well, otherwise there's no chance. It puts crazy pressure on him. So apparently he didn't call the physio because there was no physio, so everything fine for Yannick apparently. Exactly, we're back to 90-10. Win predictor, 90% Sinner. And 10% for Zverev at this point. I would have said 70-30 before the match. But after the first set and the scenario... But, Zverev, he'll try his best until the end, whatever happens. This is something you can be sure of. And you can see that now Sinner is serving less first serves, which doesn't affect him too much because look how dominant he is on second. In the rallies. I don't think that Zverev has to play faster than usual, and I don't think he should try to because he's going to make too many on first errors, which he does. But I think he should pay a lot of attention on playing deep. Deep, and change direction often to make his opponent work as much as possible. And also, he likes it when the direction changes, Zverev. Another serve winner. I agree with you, Till 17-12-04. That's exactly what I said. Second serve again. See, that's a strange shot from Sinner. On the run on the backhand, usually he would do an incredible slide and find a way to hit that backhand down the line. And he just kept running and hit a slice flying. There is something wrong, for sure. So back to 80-20, even without a physio. And Till said 17-12-04. I think I did answer that question already. So I don't want to be boring for the people listening. But there is only one way to beat Sinner and Alcaraz is to outplay them. But outplay them doesn't mean playing faster than you can. It means staying in the rally, making the guy work, making the match difficult because you're playing deep, you're not missing, you move the ball around. Exactly what Zverev did the last points. I think something's wrong really with Sinner. Trust me, I can feel it. I can feel it. Physically, the way he moves, the intensity, everything, something's off. No first serves at all in that game. But he used to be extremely dominant on second, Yannick, but not lately. Oh, that's an unbelievable drop shot. You see, in a case like this, he's a bit struggling a little bit at the moment on the baseline. That's the moment to hit the drop shot that is unexpected because he didn't do one in the match. Zverev didn't see that coming at all. He didn't even move. And it's extremely well executed, by the way. You see that forehand miss with the body weight going completely back? That's not what Yannick usually does. He's way more compact and physical. I have a question from Alex Fuller, 9784. Ah, and that's a good return on the first serve from Zverev. You see? That's crazy tennis. Sinner is dropping. Boom. Suddenly, Sasha is playing way better. And first break point of the match. That's crazy. He was almost dying at the start of the second. Zverev, 2 break points for Sinner, and could be broken first game. And we felt the match was almost over, and now he has a break point to be up 4-2 and serving, so potentially 5-2. So let's look at the end of this game, because Deuce, first time that Yannick is struggling on his serve, second serve. Tell you the second serve is weak. Oh la la. Again, he used the drop shot because he's a bit lost at the moment, Yannick. But he did a great drop shot again. A very good lob. Yeah, maybe let's line live. This I can believe, because the temperature is high. And we know that Yannick is really struggling in those conditions. So that could be an explanation, or it can be something physical. Like be hurt somewhere. Great serves. On the break point, he's been unbelievable when it counted. That's amazing. So Alex Fuller, 9784 on YouTube, is saying, with the current state of Sinner and Alcaraz, can any other of the other players beat them in a match? I want to think Sasha here has a chance, but we know how they're playing. Well, I think there is always a chance for sure, but their chance is very small, almost none, close to none, when they are at their best. I think that Sinner is a little bit more beatable at the moment than he was last year, for example. But this can change very fast. You know, a few very good wins, and he'll be back. Yeah, the chances are. I mean, those guys are way better than anyone else. Way better. Last line live, you're tough with Sasha. He always has a chance, but he drops it. I mean, so far he couldn't do much because of the quality of the serve of Yannick on the break point, and then after again. If you know how to return from far, I think it was a good option from Yannick to stay far, because then when you are far to return Zverev, it just hits a small second serve, and then you can really hit a good shot to start the point. When you close, he goes way more. He hits the ball way harder. So to be close on first and further on second against him makes a lot of sense. I understand. Okay. I thought you were talking about this match in particular. Okay. I mean, well, Zverev has been number 3 in the world for quite a while now, so he's the closest in terms of level to Alcaraz and Sinner. I think Novak is the closest, because I think if Novak would play a full season, he would be number 3. But we know he's interested in the Grand Slams only, almost only now. But still, it's normal that if someone causes problem to Sinner and Alcaraz, it's Sasha. On the other hand, it's difficult for him to beat them, even though he can make the match difficult for them, because their level of confidence the last years is so huge because of the number of wins that they're going to be better on the big points. Oh my God. And a break from Sinner. He was so close to breaking Sinner, Zverev, and now gets broken with too many unforced errors again. It's crazy because there has been some games where he lost it. I was talking too much in that game, so I didn't see everything. But I saw quite a few unforced errors from Zverev, and same in the first break he got. Sinner got in the first set. It was with 4 unforced errors of Zverev. So when you see that you're making too many unforced errors like Zverev today, accept to take more margin. Don't play that close to the line. This one is this out because you aim for the line. Of course, you think, wow, I'm playing Sinner. If the ball is not so close to the line, he's going to be there and he's going to attack me back. But, yeah. It's better. It's always better to make the opponent play one more shot than to give him the point for free. And for the questions, and I had some about me also calling the second match, Alcaraz versus Medvedev. The answer is yes, I will. Yeah, that's what I felt, and checked the stats, and the percentage of first serve of Sinner in the second set completely dropped. Oof. A bit short, that backhand to the forehand of Sasha, and boom, winner. Yeah, he's at 53% of first serves, Yannick, in the second set, which is very low. And just in the second set, Sasha is still struggling on second serves. Only 22%, 2 out of 9. Oof. It's going to come back. No. Yeah, that's also something that he was not doing that much before, Yannick, and I think this is very interesting with his type of game is to sneak in after a very good shot. He did again here because there are so many opportunities, so many moments when he hits a shot and the opponent is far and he's going to have to run a lot. And at the end, he's going to be only able to put the ball back but not hit a good shot. And whenever he sees it, boom, he rushes to the net and he's so good at the net. Another backhand mistake from Zverev. And another time he moved around his forehand to hit a backhand, which is weird. And I think he did it twice in that match, and the 2 times he missed it. 19 unforced errors to 10 for Zverev. (40-15). Yes, and this backhand in the net, when he's moved, is something that he was almost never doing before. It's really new. So, and again in that rally, Sinner played very short. Oh my God, so good, this drop shot cross court in such an important point. Again, I could feel Sinner was getting shaky. I was about to say it. And when he's shaky, boom, drop shot, winner. 5-3, 6-2, 5-3. A lot of discussions between Till 17, 12-04 and Stefaru. And this line live, you're right. In the past, Zverev had many occasions not many, but several occasions to beat either Yannick or Carlos, and never did. In the big matches, he didn't do it, especially the last 2 years. He missed the occasions, as well as he missed the occasions to win his first Grand Slam. He had the occasion 3 times. But twice he was really in a very good position, winning 2-1, for example, against Carlos in Roland Garros, when Carlos won his first title, by the way. Oof, what a return. Unbelievable return from Sinner. He's so quick with his hands. This time it's a good drop shot from Zverev. Hello, 5-0-12-14. Welcome to the chat for the first time. I don't know what is this emoji, but probably because I'm too old, I'm sure the younger guys know exactly what you mean. Wow, what a return again from Sinner. Unbelievable. Unbelievable how he jumps forward to the ball and he's so fast with his hands. $15.30. That's a big point because losing it would give two match points to Sinner, and it's a second serve with a 22% of points won. And it's a very good second serve. I don't know why Sinner went close, because I told you when the opponent is close, Zverev really goes for his second serve and is way more efficient than when you're far. Thank you, Let's Line Live. You're not old, but you don't know either. Thank you. Maybe Fire Arrow 1214 will tell us soon. I don't know. Very good job from Zverev. Nerad F4, you think that this emoji means that Zverev is not playing well? Wow. Okay. I'm definitely too old. But a return again. He's been really, really hurting Zverev when he's able to be on the ball and drive it on the return. He's been able to hit that very deep spot center that, you know, when the players land inside the court after the serve and the ball comes to their feet, they're missing a lot, or they would play short. An ace. And a good serve again to save his first service game. He was down 15-30 in that game. 6-2, 5-3. Started to smell like the end, but the reaction of Zverev was amazing. Mara Private, hi. If you were coaching Zverev, what would you say to him in order to win the match? Well, I hope I would say it way earlier than at 6-2, 5-4 against him. But I would definitely tell him, you're trying to play too fast. Slow down, don't miss, look for depth. And make this guy work. Make him win because he's going to hit a lot of winners. Not win because you're going to do a lot of unforced errors. Stay with him. Make this match physical. Force him to play long rallies because you find depth in your shots on which he cannot hit winners. And he has to go for another one and another one and another one. You are ready. Physically, you're a monster. You practice more than anyone. You can play 5 hours in the hit. He can't. Stay there. That's what I would tell him. Slow down, more shape in the ball, and look for depth. That's it. And change direction. Often. Hi, Joe Hustler 0. Is your academy open in the winter? I'm planning a trip from the US. We're opening 365 days a year. So, yes. And we're in the French Riviera. The weather is amazing. Look, I didn't, get sun. Allez, 6 to 5-4, serving for the match. He's going to be shaky. I can tell. First he's been shaky almost every match in that tournament when he was about to close. And this first point just confirms. That's a huge unforced error, and unusual one for Zverev. Love 15. He'd better pass first serve, I can tell you. Too short. Yeah, too short from Zverev. And he knows. That's why he replays that ball. I was way too short. The ball landed on the line of the service box. I mean, it's Sinner on the other side. If you give him this shot, you're going to get hurt. Nerad F4. You know what? A lot of players get shaky and in the potential last game of the match. And that's why he hits a drop shot, because he's shaky and he misses it on top of it. He played it moving backwards instead of playing it moving forward because he feels the stress. Remember against Fonseca? 7-6, 5-3 serving for the match. I mean, he served at 5-4 for the match. Played his worst game of the match. 15-30. Saved by the serve. That's an amazing serve. Perfectly placed. And look at women's matches. You'll see how many players are extremely shaky when they're supposed to close a set, and even more when they close a match. There's a lot. So there are many. You have occasions to come back always. I mean, not always, but most of the time. Oh. Saved by this serve again. Two beautiful aces down the tee. And that's a match point now for Jannik Sinner. Yeah. I said 90-10 or 80-20 if Sinner is injured. So far, he gives me second serve. Zverev extremely far to return. And on another mistake from Zverev, who hit way too many today. Victory for Sinner in two straight sets, 6-2, 6-4. There hasn't really been a match. Very fast in the match after 4 very good games. Zverev completely dropped his percentage of first serve and started to make a lot of enforced errors. So I wouldn't say it was an incredible Jannik. I think he was solid today. And that was enough to beat Zverev in 1 hour and 23 minutes. Well, I'm going to leave you now, but I'll see you very... thank you, Ali 1111. The win predictor checked. I'll see you very soon for the next match between Alcaraz and Medvedev, a very exciting one. So I'll start a new stream. See you very soon. It was a pleasure to have all of you here. Thanks to the subscribers and thanks to the followers as well. And see you very soon, guys. Bye-bye. And underestimate Sinner, that would be a mistake. This record of Carlos having already 7 Grand Slams, being that young, it's unique in the history. When he was 22, Rafa had 4, Roger had 1, and Novak had 1, Australia. So just to say how impressive that is. The fact that he won the last 2 also sends a message, but we have to be careful, even though Sinner lost 2 surprising matches, let's say it, because against Novak he was used to winning, won the last 5 before losing this one in the semis of the Australian Open, and then lost Mensik in Doha. He's there, he's playing an incredible level. He can't count him out. They are sharing the Grand Slams for the last 2 years. I think in terms of level, they're still close. This Roland Garros, he had to face two match points against Yannick. 1 point would have made a big difference. Yannick would have won 3 Grand Slams, and Carlos only won last year. The real question is, with the winning streak that he has at the moment, can Alcaraz go to even a higher level? And this higher level, would it be high enough so that Yannick Sinner cannot match with him as much as he did in the past? That's the real question. We can't underestimate Sinner. That would be a mistake. This record of Carlos having already 7 Grand Slams, being that young, it's unique in the history. When he was 22, Rafa had 4, Roger had 1, and Novak had 1, Australia. So just to say how impressive that is. The fact that he won the last 2 also sends a message, but we have to be careful, even though Sinner lost 2 surprising matches, let's say it, because against Novak he was used to winning, won the last 5 before losing this one in the semis of the Australian Open, and then lost. Mensik in Doha is there, is playing an incredible level. We can't count him out. They are sharing the Grand Slams for the last 2 years. I think in terms of level, they're still close. This Roland Garros, he had to face two match points against Yannick. 1 point would have made a big difference. Yannick would have won 3 Grand Slams, and Carlos only won last year. The real question is, with the winning streak that he has at the moment, can Alcaraz go to even a higher level? And this higher level, would it be high enough so that